If you're a veterinarian, do you need to hire a financial planner that's specific to veterinarians? Is there benefit in doing that? And how much does it cost? What questions should you ask before making that investment and asking someone else to get really involved with helping you figure out your finances, which can be a really scary experience? We're going to show you everything that you need to know and everything you need to ask. And we're going to show you, of course, how much it costs for vet med specific financial planning. Let's dive in. So getting fiduciary planning is important. So you do need to ask your planner that you're thinking of hiring, are you fiduciary? Do you have to put my interest ahead of yours? That's a legal requirement. So they're obligated to tell you that or not. But it's not as simple as asking if somebody's a fiduciary. The reason for that is because a fiduciary can have conflicts of interest. You should ask your planner what those conflicts could potentially be. They have to put them in their ADV if they're registered, but as an RIA, registered investment advisor. But you have to also just ask and get plain English. What are some situations where you would have conflicts of interest that could impact the advice that I get? And fiduciary also does not mean they can't charge an arm and a leg. So you do also, while you're looking for a veterinary specific financial planner, you want to see if they're providing a good value, if they're providing a good amount of value for the money you're paying, right? Now, when you've kind of found a firm that you think passes that test, the next thing is, does that firm actually have a lot of experience working with veterinarians? Do they have a handful of clients or do they have hundreds of clients? And that's a big difference. I know because we have a veterinary group. And so that's a big difference because veterinarians have very specific things that are impacting them. So for example, veterinarians a lot of times will have large amounts of land. They will have just a large number of animals. They'll have a lot of discretionary spending that's different from other household discretionary spending that you have to budget and plan for. Veterinarians often have different types of retirement plans than other people. So there's all these kinds of things that you learn from working with lots of veterinarians over years. And it's important that the firm that you work with actually demonstrates expertise versus just, marketing, right? Just marketing that they work with veterinarians. One example of this is somebody sold some high commission product to a veterinarian once with a guaranteed 5 or 6% yield before taxes, but their student loans were at 8%. Now this person needed to go for forgiveness on her student loans, but it was okay, so you sold somebody something with a 6% yield. She's got 8% yield on your student loans. Even if if you were trying to do the right thing, 8% is more than 5 or 6. Why did you sell something that's guaranteed to yield less than paying down her student loans? Now, in this case, the person needed to go for forgiveness, which means she needed to invest, which is fine because they shouldn't have paid down their student loans. But the person who sold them this high commission product didn't understand any of it, right? And just wanted to make a sale. So it's just really important to avoid working with folks that don't have that proven expertise with veterinarians. Now, is the firm you're thinking about working with, do they advise both employees and practice owners? So a lot of folks might be a little bit more heavy into practice owners only. Maybe they don't really think as much about younger veterinarians that are trying to make that leap. Or, alternatively, maybe somebody only works primarily with associate veterinarians and doesn't have a lot of experience of practice owners and board certified specialists and things like that, where you could have more tax considerations and tax write-offs that you need to be aware of. So I think that that question is really critical to be able to be satisfied with if you're the client asking the question is, do you work with people like me, not just veterinarians, but veterinarian practice owners or veterinary associates or veterinarians that are contractors that are trying to figure out all these weird tax things, right? Number 4 is, do you need help with your vet school loans, and do you want those vet school loan strategies implemented with the rest of your financial planning? Now, if you don't have student loans, great. You don't need to worry about this when you're hiring a financial planner. But if you do, you need to ask, and it's the planner about how much they know, and it's very important that you don't know more than they do about student loans. That's one of the big pieces of your financial puzzle. So you just want to be thinking about that to make sure that you are not, overlooking the fact that how do they give you investment advice if they're not doing that in the context of, I need to have savings for a tax bomb one day when my loans are forgiven, I have to pay taxes in the forgiven balance potentially. So you want advice that takes into account student loans while you're building wealth as a veterinarian. Otherwise, it's going to be not that useful advice. 5th is veterinarians have unique planning issues compared with other professions. So, how many financial planners know the following? So we've got, what pro-sal is, right? Production salary. So general practitioner versus board certified specialist, using a DVM mortgage versus a conventional mortgage, the best tax breaks for veterinarians, writing off corporate depreciation, things like setting up a retirement plan. So there's Secure Act 2.0 where you can set up a retirement plan and get a lot of the cost of setting up that retirement plan covered for you for the first 3 years. So that, I mean, there's all kinds of special tax breaks that are unique to the veterinary profession. Also, things like why so many vet practices have simple IRAs. That was a vestige from prior years before the Secure 2.0 Act, and a lot of people have not thought about that since. And also, like I said, veterinarians often have very different goals or unique goals in many cases compared to other people. What if you want to buy land and build a new construction build to accommodate how many animals you have? What are the finances of that? What things you consider? What kind of construction loans should you potentially use? All these sorts of things come up when you work with lots of veterinarians, and you want to get the best advice if you're going to pay a premium for extra specific help that's really specific to your occupation. So if you have any questions or any thoughts about veterinarian specific financial planning, if you want to share any feedback that you've had talking to financial planners as a veterinarian, if you want to share any feedback about like financial planners that have said that they aren't good fits, or frustrations that you've had with financial planners or financial planning, put them in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this video. And remember, profession specific planning might be $5,000 to $10,000 a year, but you could probably even get it for less than that if you just make sure you search around. So I think that you don't have to necessarily be a board certified specialist making $300,000 a year with your own practice to get financial planning as a veterinarian that's customized for your profession. So that's the good news. So anyways, in the comments, any frustrations or questions that you have about financial planning for veterinarians, put them there. And thank you so much for watching.